The topic is focused on driving engagement in digital workplace. And we have Vikram Samant, who heads our open source solutions at CIGNEX Datamatics. He will walk us through the solutions and what are the important aspects for the enterprise Intranet 2.0. How you can increase the engagement, how you can increase the productivity in the workplace. That's the topic of the webinar. With that said, I invite Vikram to walk us through today's topic, webinar. And once again, thanks everyone for taking the time out from your schedule and being part of our webinar. Thanks. Vikram?
Hey, thanks Nirav for the introduction, and thank you everyone for having made yourselves available to attend this webinar. I know it is difficult to focus on a remote voice, but I would urge you all to make sure that you remain focused throughout this session. And if there are any questions at the end of the webinar, you can put them in the chat window, or we will open up the call to ask questions, and more than happy to answer anything in person. My email ID is already here on the first slide that you all will be seeing. So anything that you need to ask but cannot ask on the phone, please do not hesitate to send me an email and I will definitely respond to you. So having said that, and having got the introductions out of the way, we are going to go through the deck today, and this deck is a combination of 3 different areas. One is talking about what are the driving forces of engagement and how they have shaped our world, whether it is the work world or it is the personal world, and how does that start creeping into our day-to-day lives. That is part 1. Part 2 is about the digital footprint that we all leave behind, and disengagement factors that get created in the workforce. What is happening on that front? There are some statistics that I will share with you, and very interesting. And at the end of it, part 3 is about what the revised or the new refreshed way of engaging with employees is going to look like. And that also has some screenshots from our platform that we've developed and we've brought to market. So we can talk about that. And if anybody is interested in getting to look at a live demo of the platform, we are more than happy to do it and would prefer to do that more on a one-on-one basis rather than on a large group. So this is the agenda for today. I would attempt to wrap this up within 40-45 minutes and then take it from there for questions. So getting into the first part of the topic today, we are talking about explosive engagement, and we've all seen various enablers over the period of time. It started first with the regular landline telephone, which enabled people to engage with each other in a very, very different manner. Then came the mobile phone, iPhone for those of you who are Apple fans. That changed the whole picture of, cell phone communication. Text messaging came later. Then we had Facebook, we had Twitter. Now we have latest is the WhatsApp, Instagram kind of things. So what have all these things done besides create explosive engagement? They are so easy to use that even a caveman can use it. And this is a line from a famous insurance ad. Make it run like the wind. It is super fast. So there is no latency. There is nothing like we are waiting for screens to get loaded. Even if there is heavy video content or heavy images in that, it really doesn't slow things down. And more importantly, what has all this created? It has created a fatal attraction, and we are all hooked to our phone devices. We are all hooked to WhatsApp, to FaceTime, to Skype, you name it. These new engagement enablers have really changed the way how we have connected with people who are either known to us in a very close circle or also within an extended circle. And very often, these same tools are now used for work. So those that originally started out in the personal life have now moved into the workforce and are a part of our day-to-day work. If you look at WhatsApp, and I'm pretty sure 99.9% of us belong to some WhatsApp group or the other. And the very first thing that we do in the morning when we wake up, even before we probably check email or news on our phones or tablets, we are just getting onto our WhatsApp groups to see what happened while we were asleep, what are the new messages or something to share that we thought of during the day. So this has created phenomenal visual engagement. It is mobile first, it's very simple, and it really doesn't care whether you're at iOS, you're at Android, or you're something else. It works everywhere. So again, in this situation, the same three principles of ease of use, fast speed, and creating that fatal attraction has been the driving theme in this application. Similarly, if you look at Instagram, it has revolutionized the world of mobile photo sharing, social media integration, and again, the same three principles are visible. It is very easy to use, it runs very fast, and it has created that stickiness. It has created that drive for people to remain connected via this application. So we at CIGNEX looked at these three principles and were wondering how can we use this in our day-to-day lives? How do corporate intranets perform against these three parameters? And we basically came up with this very simple graphic. The current state of intranets in an organization or the tools that are provided to engage with employees are more corporate driven and are more of a necessity rather than something that you would love to do. The future always looks good. However, if you have to really engage with your employees and enable that cohesiveness and create the group that you really want to have connected, the entire intranet experience has to be reloaded. You have to create that hook with an individual. And then what would that hook look like? It has to have connected apps. It should automatically engage, and it should connect people. And what would it look like? It would pretty much look like a mashup of WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, the chat sessions, Flipboards, all these kind of different applications that have taken our personal lives in a very different direction. If we are able to mash up all of that and put that into an intelligent corporate confine, that is what the future is going to look like, and that is what is going to enable engagement. So this is what we concluded after having looked at a lot of different organizations and having spoken to a lot of HR leaders, a lot of other CIOs and other employee engagement experts. The other interesting part is about the digital footprint, and we all know that irrespective of whatever claims that may be out there, there is always a digital footprint that we leave, whether it is knowingly or unknowingly, it always exists. And now it is a matter of tracking that digital footprint in the corporate confine without creating that creepiness factor that you've always been watched or your every movement is being watched, even though we know it is. So that is a unique way to look at how we can calculate engagement and predict disengagement. And what actually creates this disengagement? We are all aware of the workplace divide. So there are different generations of people who have been in this organization or in any organization. There are people who are 60 plus, there are people who are in the 40 to 60 range, there are people who are in the 30 to 40 range, and there are people who are just entering the workforce and are in the 20s to in their 30s. But interestingly, their habits of engagement or their mode of engagement or mode of communication varies very differently. So a very interesting statistic that we got was baby boomers and Gen Xers have the lowest level of engagement, and they contribute to about 88% of the workforce, whereas traditionalists and millennials have the highest level of engagement. However, they are only 12% of the workforce. So if you look at these two extremes, the contextualization and personalization of content and the details of how you engage with each of these work groups and age groups is got to be very critical and got to be understood in a very different sense based on the technology that you're using. So this was another input that we took into consideration, and as you all start designing your own internal intranets, you need to look at this too. The other part that drives complexity in the workplace, if you just compare the traditionalists and the millennials, the traditionalists obviously have a much more structured corporate kind of setup, more 9 to 5. They usually conform to corporate laid down norms. They have a very clear career ladder that they have to go up on. They're focused on inputs, and they usually work out of offices. Contrast that with the millennials. 9 to 5 is really not any boundary. So they work anytime, anywhere, any device, largely focused on outputs, and they create their own ladder. So this, if you contrast it from an HR perspective and also now look at it from a technology engagement perspective, you will see that there is a challenge out here and there is a gap. So you've got to design something that can connect with both sets of people. And of course, even if you are a young organization, the geographical dispersity, the diverseness in demographics, working from home, working from other remote locations, and sometimes if you're a large corporation, even if you're working within the same building, the ability to connect with each other is now more paramount. It has to be integrated into your day-to-day life rather than simple different applications that are there. So this is the other set of inputs that has to be valued. And now comes the more important part, is about the user. So as an end user, I have certain expectations about how I should be engaged with, or what tools I should be given to engage with. And obviously the corporate has its own set of ideas. So from a user perspective, a user definitely needs to see, they say, show me what I want to see. Make me want to get to that site that hosts that information. Allow me the freedom to have my own connects. Keep it simple and keep it intuitive. Don't burden me with manuals and training sessions. Nobody wrote a manual for Facebook, but we all know how to use it. Nobody wrote a manual for WhatsApp. We all know how to use it. So why not the same logic for the application that we are designing or we are going to use to engage with each other and make corporate life easier for us? So now you contrast this with what the corporates are saying. They say, agreed, you want to see only a specific bit of information, but we really have to show you a lot more than just what you want to see. So there's a disconnect out there. You should be able to get to the site no matter what. You are an employee of the organization. Here is our site. Here is our set of applications. You need to go there. We don't need to be motivating you or making it really fancy to get there. It's that simple. And why do you need to have your own connects? Now we've connected the entire organization. Everybody has phones. Everybody knows where they sit. You can talk. You can email. So what more do you need? Keeping it simple and intuitive? Come on. There is so much information that we need to show. It cannot be simple. It is going to become complex. And you need to know where to look for information that you want. So this is the flip side of the equation. So obvious to all of us. There is a disconnect between what users are looking for versus what companies are actually bringing to the table, and that is a disconnect that we have to eliminate, and we have to enable this diverse workforce, geographically diverse, culturally diverse, and also locationally diverse, age group diversity, all of that stuff. We have to make sure that those parameters of diversity and disengagement are taken away by the technology that we bring to the table. And we also have to remember the three simple rules. You have to make it fast, you have to make it easy, you have to make it connected, you have to create that level of stickiness that people would want. So these are the three main drivers that you should always keep in mind, and that is what we've done at our organization when we've created the digital employee engagement platform. So now, when you come to the enterprise intranet 2.0 or anything that you need to develop from an employee engagement perspective, especially when you're looking at a digital workplace, what we have done actually is looked at it from two different angles. One is from the design perspective, and the other is from the technology perspective. So if you look at and recall those three main principles of ease of use, speed, and creating that stickiness, we've looked at our design and technology components in that same perspective. So make the content find you, so you do not have to search for it. So it becomes intuitive in that sense. You should be able to correlate interaction to the engagement hierarchy, and your search and retrieve should be across applications. It should also enable new technologies to search across diverse systems and get what you want rather than making you log into multiple different systems to find it, or give you, more and more hyperlinks to get to what you need. From a technology perspective, you should be able to measure the level of engagement at an employee level. You should be able to predict disengagement, because if you go back to the scenario of having a workforce that is geographically distributed, it is very difficult for a manager to know that somebody sitting in some remote location, and is that person, yeah, you could be performing well in your tasks, you may be delivering on time, but are you engaged with the organization? Are you a cohesive part or an integral part? Do you have that sense of belongingness? So how do you figure that out using technology? And how do you give that early warning to the people to say that, oh, Mr. X sitting in location Y is actually showing certain signs of disengagement. It might help if you connect with her and get some inputs, have a chat, and set things right. So that's the other technology principle. And the third one is about embedded communications. So yes, we do have our cell phones, we do have desk phones, we do have WhatsApp, we will have chat applications, but all of these are separate, distinct entities on the side. So you need to actually physically move from one device to the other. So if you're on your laptop and on the engagement platform, or currently if you want to call somebody, you basically would pick up your phone and call, or send a chat message through a different application. So the ability to embed communication is important, because now it eliminates that need to use a second or a third device to connect with people. So that is what we have taken into consideration while designing our employee engagement platform. So when you talk about creating the digital experience, the technology has to be subtle, it has to be in the background. All your design principles have to be in the foreground, and more importantly, it is about the experience. So I know there is a lot of talk about UI and UX, but again, if you go back to the three principles that we spoke about speed, about intuitiveness, and creating that stickiness factor, therefore, experience is extremely important out here. And very interestingly, what we've seen is majority of the engagement or the digital workforce applications, whether it is an intranet or it is something else, they are largely, more often than not, 70% skewed towards what the company wants to tell you, and it is more about the company than about the individual employee. And that has to change because we are talking about socializing the workplace, we are talking about context-based personalization, we are talking about, you know, merging together internal and external content that people would need from a day-to-day perspective. At the end of the day, what are we talking about? We are talking about building the intranet of people. It is no longer about the organization or about an employee as such. It is about people and how do people engage. So the whole platform of digital engagement has to be structured around principles of engaging with people, therefore making it less formal, making it more socially interactive. If you can pull in features from LinkedIn, pull in certain features from Facebook, however, put them within the confines of your corporate culture, then we've got something to take to people, and you have the embedded communication piece in it. That's how the engagement will go higher. And it has been proven by a lot of statistics that more and a lot of studies that have been done by even by the government in the United Kingdom that engaged employees are far more innovative. They are the corporate as such becomes more resilient to when they are faced with difficult times, and they are also performing better as compared to an organization that has lower levels of engagement. So obviously attrition is lower if your engagement is higher. So those are the other benefits of creating more engaged employees. So this is what the digital experience is all about. And what we've done at CIGNEX is we've created this whole 360 degree of engagement where, along with all the features that we just spoke about, we have added engagement analytics, we've added events management, and we've added idea lifecycle management. So innovation is key. Everybody talks about innovation, everybody talks about ideas, and then people have suggestion boxes, and you'll have an idea forum and a committee and all that. We said, why go through that long-winded procedure? Let's create it as a tool for engagement. So we've got this already embedded and created within our digital employee engagement platform. This is what the platform actually is all about. So it is a SaaS-based, obviously it's on the cloud. It's a collaboration platform that connects and engages the dispersed geographic and demographic workforce of today and the future by delivering an employee-centric plug-and-play digital experience. So gone are the days of having to wait 6 months for something to show up and start working and get it customized. So our objective, and this is what we're doing in the market, is within the first 10 days, it can be customized and it is rolled out to people. So basic functionality is up and running. Within the next 45 days, you will have specific customized functionality in terms of integration, single sign-on with your existing applications, a search application that goes across systems, and content that is made specific within the corporate culture that you have. So that's what we are bringing to the table, and it obviously has a lot of features and functions in it, and those are the ones that we've listed at the bottom half of this slide. So very interestingly, one of the features that is very cool is about the auto fresh content. So what we've seen is you need a lot of admin effort to actually keep the site refreshed or provide certain feeds, we've actually automated some of those where you are getting some fun facts about your organization, and they keep refreshing every 1 hour or so. And so you get those fun facts, but those fun facts are not just trivia or something that you can laugh about. They are more about how similar you could be with 20 other people, or what skills do you share with the rest of the organization or the geolocation that you're working out of, or how many people are working remote just like you and belong to the same city. So what happens is when you see this kind of an auto refresh feature, you basically are motivated or pushed to connect with those people. So there's a little bit of enthusiasm, freshness that gets automatically created. We've brought in a feature called wellness. So employee health is always very high on people's list. Obviously, your healthcare premiums and all can reduce. But what we've done is we're creating a wellness application within our engagement platform, which throws out challenges to people as to uh, today in the location XYZ, we are launching run 30 kilometers in 30 days as a challenge, for example. And whoever wants to sign up, you sign up, and here's the coach that's going to lead the initiative. So this is all employee-based. It is like a crowdsourcing for fun, and obviously you get healthy. You can track your goals on that and say, hey, I ran 2 kilometers instead of the one that I was supposed to do today. Then you obviously create a small community of all the participants, and therefore now you've created a different level of engagement along with creating healthy employees. So it doesn't get better than that. And right now we are actually working with integrating it with your Fitbit devices, and maybe in the next month or two with the Apple Watch to get your health feeds directly into it if you so choose to. So that's a very interesting feature that we've pulled together. And another one is about crowdfunding. So we know that there are social initiatives that take place in an organization, and they are not always funded by an organization. So you can set up a crowdfunding feature for a specific cause, whether it is for a charity or whether it is donate money for every kilometer that I run or walk or whatever it is. And that also creates a very different level of engagement. So some of the things that we've done are very cool. Some of them are trying to integrate information from diverse applications to come to one central location. And one of those is task management. So in an organization, you obviously belong to at least one team or one project, or maybe sometimes multiple teams. So the tasks that get assigned to you can actually be created as a task list within this platform, and they can get assigned to you and tracked for completion. We've also integrated this with a couple of other third-party applications which are task management software, and those tasks get imported to you into this list, and you get an alert. There's a new task that has been assigned. Go look at it. You click on the link, and you get all your updates about that, or whatever has been assigned to you. So what I wanted to show here is some of the some of the screenshots from this digital engagement platform that we have. And what you're seeing here is the homepage for Willie Hart, and she's actually worked with the organization for 2 years, 10 months, and 21 days. So which is very different from, just showing you've been here for 2 years. So that's a slight twist on the regular update that you would get about your employment. You can edit your profile by just moving to this pen out here. You can upload your own photograph. So this is similar to a LinkedIn or a Facebook setup. And when you go into your welcome mode on the top right, you also get a drop-down menu to create a blog post. So all of you who are familiar with LinkedIn, there's a feature to create a post, so you could quickly write about something that's on your mind. It's usually a couple of paragraphs or three at the most. Not generally, it doesn't exceed more than a page. So we've got a similar editor that we've created, a text editor that's there. You have a predefined template. You go in, you write, and whatever you write gets published out here. So we are basically masking now, since it's on a demo site, so we are masking what content came in, but that gets automatically refreshed and it's posted live. So this is very much employee centric. The onus of posting the right things or sharing the right information is with the employee, and obviously it works like an honor system. And if you look at the page, the entire page, and there is more at the bottom when you scroll, the only content space that has been given to the corporate is this centerpiece, which is a scrolling panel of 3 bits of information. So one is just a summary of what is happening across the organization in terms of blogs that have come from different locations. The other is about an important message or something that the company wants to communicate to you. And everything else is all about your person as an individual. So your tasks, there's a GoToMeeting call that you have, which was 2 minutes ago. You have a conference call at 5:30, so on and so forth. Here are the recent documents that you need to read. These are the posts that different people have made. These are the members of your team. And here are the fun facts. And it auto refreshes with saying, right now it says 6 people with the same work as you. So they're either in the same project or they're in the same area domain that you work in, or they have come in from their previous employer was same as yours. So we are not giving too many details out here for the simple reason that once you see what it is, this should intrigue you to connect with one of these and say, oh, this face looks familiar, and oh, by the way, they all came from IBM. I was in IBM previously. Oh, let me see if how we can connect. So the moment you click on an individual's profile, you get the connect, you get the links, you're all set up, and you can start engaging with people. And that is what digital engagement is all about. It is about the ease of use, the ability to create stickiness and make it fast so that you're not looking at any time delays. So instantaneous gratification is the word I like to use. And that is what a digital engagement platform should provide to you. Now we talk about the digital engagement. So switching gears a little bit, this is more on the analytics side. And what we've looked at and what we've created is an employee engagement algorithm, which basically has a weighted scale of contributions that you have made, and also a weighted score on how you have interacted on this platform, either amongst peers or amongst other colleagues that are there, and what has been your contribution in terms of your own blogs, your posts, your responses, your idea contributions, so on and so forth. And this is the kind of graphic that you get at an individual employee level, and that employee is also aggregated into a particular team, because at the end of the day, you do belong somewhere in a larger group rather than an individual contributor. So quickly, from a manager's perspective, you can look at your team and say, oh, okay, I have a team of 10 people, and I see that Jenny was actually at 12%, at a score of 12, as compared to Robert, who's at a 29 score. So how do we go in and look at a contrast and comparison and give an alert to a manager or a team leader? And that is how this system gives you these inputs. So you can run different analytics around the team, around an individual. You can look at a trend line saying that, oh, I see a declining trend in the level of engagement of person XY, and therefore I need to reach out to her and talk to her and figure out what's happening. So this is a very different way of understanding your employees, and also the system has a very cool feature for gauging employee engagement through regular surveys. So typically, employee engagement surveys are done largely, once a year, at the most twice a year. So midpoint and end of year are usually those cycles for employee engagement surveys. However, with the platform that we've built, you can launch it every day if you choose to. Of course, that's an overkill, but it's pre-built. It's got a weighted scoring algorithm in it. It's got the logical data points to capture, and that it's a simple push button. So you do not have to even wait for an an admin to do it. Any employee with the rights to publish a poll can actually publish that survey. It goes out. It makes sure that people are, entering it. You get frequent updates that you haven't completed it, so on and so forth, and that is pushed out to the larger employee workforce, and you are now saving thousands of pounds in not engaging a third-party company to come in and do the survey for you. So it's all embedded. It's all connected. It goes back to unified communication. It goes back to embedded communications, speed, intuition, and also getting in the feeds that you need that are necessary for you. So another very interesting feature that we've done is we've created a library which you basically subscribe to for the topics that you want to look at. So if cross-country motorcycling is very important to you and you want to get news feeds about that, there's a box you can check. As long as your company allows you to get such news feed during the workday, we are fine with it. So you just check that box. Maybe you're interested in local politics at the county level. You can check a box out there. So based on your preferences, the system goes out and gets a news feed, an aggregated news feed from multiple sources, and publishes it on your page for you specifically. So that is how it works. And the reason for doing this is, all of us know that people spend enough time Googling stuff, and obviously the intention is to Google something related to work, but within a few minutes we are actually looking at things that are no way connected to what we actually wanted to search for. So we know that employees are doing it. There are certain distractions. Why not embrace that and bring that distraction in a more positive manner and bring it into the same platform so that you're not jumping around in 20 different places. You're getting all the information at one location. So that's another pretty cool feature that we have. And so from that perspective, what do you get? You get a scalable and secure digital employee engagement platform, which is known as DEEP. It's built on open source, so that's even better for everyone. It's highly scalable and secure. We've run our tests. It runs on AWS, so all that is already taken care of. We've integrated. We've shown the ability to integrate it with single sign-on with your LDAP. So it creates a lot of different benefits from an increased productivity perspective. Email usage should drop. The cost that you spend on third-party consultants to come in and gauge the employee engagement levels, those will change. Obviously, you will see significant savings out there. And then you've created a workforce that is truly engaged. They have the right tools. This is designed to work on your desk, on your laptop, on your mobile devices, phones, tablets, anything, everything. So any device anywhere, as long as you have an internet connection or a Wi-Fi connection, you're good. You can connect into this system and you're up and running. You can connect with people. You can call them over the internet. We have all those features as a part of embedded communication. And that is how digital workplaces are going to change. And what we've already done is we've done this with certain clients. So these are some screenshots from clients, places that we've got. So this is for a large life sciences company, and we've integrated calendar. So the calendar is an integrated version of your personal calendar as well as your office calendar if you may choose to do so. So it can pull in your appointments and block your time out. So if you've got to run to the dentist for during work hours or whatever it is, it blocks off the time if you want to do it as such. So it creates all that level. It has got corporate feeds coming in. It has got links that are related to the feeds for news that you have spoken about and you wanted. So these are the links that can take care that can give you that information. And here on the right hand side, what you see, we've created an app store kind of feel for the applications that you would like to use. So this is on the HR side. So when you click on the HR page from your home page, you will basically come to something that looks like an app store. And then there are the usual policies and procedures that the company wants you to look at. So simple design, we've made it intuitive, we've made it auto refresh, and we've done that with multiple clients. And the same thing is, device ready, so you can take care of it. So based on your role, which is the screenshot is for the sales team. So we've got a totally different look and feel about for the sales guys who are on the road. They have a sales training calendar. They have the resources that they could go to, and what are the training sessions that they can attend. So very simple, very intuitive, and this is a screenshot from an iPad. So we've delivered this across multiple organizations, as you see in this slide, and we have done that pretty much worldwide at a very short period of time and very quick to deploy, and giving you all the features that we just spoke about. And so that brings me to the end of our session, and just 2 minutes before we open it up for questions, this is a quick summary about our organization. We're the #1 pure play open source services company. We have 4 global development centers, 2 in the US, 2 in India. We've built 5 engagement platforms. The digital employee engagement platform that we just spoke about is one of them. We've got 14 books that people have authored, our employees have authored, 550 plus across the globe, and very strong in the open source community. So enterprise editions is something that we work with largely as compared to community editions. We offer proof of concepts within 10 to 15 days. You can get a proof of concept ready and showcase to your organization. And we are partnered with all these open source software companies, Liferay being top. We've got Acquia Drupal, Pentaho, Magento, MongoDB, so on and so forth. So we are pretty strong in the open source side, and we've got a lot of credentials on that front. And we are well recognized in the world today, and we've been around since 2000 and have no plans to disappear anytime soon. We are there, we are solid, we are global, and we are committed to successful outcomes based on the business engagement platforms and the services that we bring to market. So with that, I would hand it back over to Nirav, and thank you all for attending this session, and we'll open it up to questions. And if you do not want to ask anything on this session, feel free to write to me. My email ID is vikram@cignex.com. That is VIKRAM @cignex, CIGNEX.com. Thank you very much, and look forward to hearing from you. Nirav, over to you. I guess Nirav's not hearing me, so any questions from anyone? You could type a message. I don't see questions being asked here, but I do have a couple of emails that have come to me. So um, I think what we could do is give you all back some time and close the session right now. So anyone has any questions, feel free to write to me. Again, my email ID is Vikram, Vikram, at CIGNEX.com. CIGNEX is CIGNEX. Thank you very much and have a good day.